Are you tired of mudrooms that are just a little too perfect? Are you looking for a real-life solution to the mess that life dumps in your entry? This mudroom sign doubles as a coat hanger and is part of a 4-part series showing how you can create a simple mudroom adaptable to any space that can take the hardest hitting mud and filth that kids, adults, and even animals can bring. We're no strangers to messes here. With goats, chickens, toddlers, and a wet season that lasts half of the year, things were looking rather unpleasant by our back entry. We needed a solution that could handle the mess in a low-maintenance way. In part 1, I'm sharing how to corral the coats and other hanging items. Begin by joining boards using pocket hole joinery to create the sign backer. My sign measures about 35 inches across and 22 inches tall. I trimmed the boards once everything was connected so the line would be nice and square. After the boards were together, I decided to give them a shiplap look by running shallow grooves across each of those seams I worked so carefully to bring together. The fun of DIYing is in the creative process, so give this whatever look you like. I set the circular saw to about 1/8 of an inch and used the guide to quickly cut the grooves. I then whitewashed the board by dry brushing it with white paint. I dabbed a small amount of paint onto the brush and lightly brushed it over the board. The oak pieces I used for this were perfect for this technique. You can cut your own letters for the sign, but I found it far easier and faster to just pick up some from Michael's. However, once I laid them out, I wasn't a fan of the larger letters, so I decided to go ahead and sand them down. My thought was that perhaps staining them would look better. However, after looking at it for a bit, I decided to go with painting instead. Now, that probably means I didn't need to sand first, but I was making this up as I went along. While the letters dried, I constructed the frame. Like the board itself, I created this using scrap flooring pieces. These pieces are pecan wood, which I thought had a lovely grain. Again, going with the flow on this build, I decided to overhang the top and bottom pieces by 3/4 inch on either side. I like the rustic sort of look this creates, and it's a total bonus that it's easy to do too. Since the frame serves no real structural purpose, I simply glued it to the rest of the boards, clamped it in place, and let it dry overnight. Going back to those letters, I attached some simple, inexpensive hooks that I got from Amazon to the backs. I needed to recess them so the letters would sit flush to the sign. This was actually really easy to do as the back of the letters is made of MDF and it chisels out quite easily. I traced a line around each hook where it would attach, and a few taps of the chisel around the pin lines did the trick. I glued the larger wooden MDF letters to the board with wood glue and used quick setting epoxy to attach the smaller metal letters. They were a bit wonky, so I used some objects from around the house to hold them in place while they dried. Some definitely shifted, so if I did this again, I'd double check that. The sign is held up with a French cleat system, which you can pick up at any home improvement store. They make hanging really easy. The next parts of this mudroom will be a fold-down bench and a large tile tray under that sign. The final step will be a locker cabinet to the right of the sign and the bench. I look forward to sharing the next parts of this project as they come together, and I hope you like this fun sign. We live on a little suburban farm here, which we have named Almost a Farm. It feels so much more official to have a sign, and I love that it's also a functional spot as well. Thanks for watching. If you have an entry that could use a little love, I hope this starts the ball rolling. Stay tuned for the next parts, and don't forget to follow along on Facebook and Instagram at The Created Home. You can find all of my tutorials and projects on my website at www.thecreatedhome.com.